but what do you define it as?
Well, looking at my notes, the unacknowledged or inappropriate adoption of the customs, practices, ideas, etc. of one people or society by members of another, and typically more dominant people or society.
You guys feel that that's prominent in Hollywood? Like that's cultural appropriation that hasn't made it difficult for you guys? Because I want to bring that to scale for our listeners and viewers on how that blackface and us kind of being the mocked at one point, but still not being given credit. But it's okay to wear the Brandy braids and wear the braids. I get all that, but it does speak to us dreamers who are out here in Hollywood pursuing our dreams. It does speak to the listeners and viewers and dreamers who are looking to move here. But if it hasn't affected you guys, it doesn't. It you know what I'm saying?
It hasn't affected me.
Mm-hmm.
Not since I've been here in LA and trying to be in the industry. I haven't had any issues with it. I've seen things on the carpet where, certain Caucasian celebrities might not want to talk to black bloggers. I think that a lot of times they feel like we're not informed on the things that they have going on because of our skin. So because of that, it's like, what am I going to talk to you for? You probably don't even know who I am. I've heard bloggers on the carpet that'll see somebody be like, oh, that's Matt Damon and it's Tom Cruise. Like, yeah, you don't even know who that is.
Right.
You're screaming out the wrong name. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen that. And so I'm just one of those people that's like, everything for me isn't about race. I don't take what Kim Kardashian and them is doing as like, oh, they're trying, they want to be black. They're stealing from our culture. They want to be black. I don't take it as that. I think from the beginning of us seeing them and who they are, they've always appreciated our culture. They've always loved black men. And I think that's just a part of who they are. Does it make it right? No. But at what time, at what point do they say, oh, yeah, I got these braids from Beyonce. I want my skin tone darker because my man loves dark skin tone. Like, at what point do they address that issue?
I think,
and I feel like that would be appropriate. I feel honestly like I've seen Beyonce do some things, and I'm like, I can't wait to do that.
Right.
I think that's normal. I've seen J-Lo do some things, and I'm like, yep, I'm gonna get that same skirt and rock it the same way. So I feel like it's fine to pick and choose from places, but I feel like as Black women, sometimes we feel like people just think that they can siphon our magic, and then and all you gotta do is put this outfit on and do a certain thing, and it's like what. Our value is not external. It really is internal.
Yeah.
And you don't lose it. I mean, think about all the queens in your family, like the grandmothers, the aunts and stuff like that. It don't stop.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't put this on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it'd be nice to be acknowledged for being so dope.
And
to be honest, they never do it right anyway.
They don't do it right. They don't.
And that's the funny part of it sometimes. And then sometimes they do it right, and you want to be like, girl, I like that, and then you get the same love back.
Right.
I mean, as women, I feel like regardless of race, we should stick together. Period.
Absolutely, and moving on from that whole concept. Because I feel like this moment, it sounds a little racially charged, and I don't want to make it that.
It's not.
It isn't that. But I do want.
Some of this stuff is stuff that we can't control.
We can't control.
And
it's the conversation.
And it does. Sensitive.
But I will just to piggyback off what you said. Just being a woman in the industry, I do a lot of commercials, and there was a certain point where, we were pressured to wear our hair natural, and I would wear a fro, and there was and I would wear it highlighted with blonde streaks, and I did have a moment in a audition, which was one of those life-changing auditions, where I had a casting director tell me to fluff my hair because it wasn't big enough, and I was the only Black woman in the room, and she sent her assistant over to assist me in backcombing my hair to make it stand up bigger, and I was humiliated, and I thought, I can't wait to go home and cut this shit off, because
I'm not laughing, but I'm
I had a non-Black woman tell me my hair wasn't nappy enough. Here I am with platinum streaks. You know what I mean? It was just like a mind for me where it's like, who am I and what am I doing? And I was telling a friend, I choose to wear my hair natural in the way that I want to, and it's kind of a silent protest, but at the same time, I don't book as much. And so when I do audition with things like this or braids, I have to mention, hey, by the way, I can take this out. And I'm more likely to get the booking because of that.
Wow.
Can you? Check that out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, listen. It just looks beautiful and fab, regardless. I didn't know. I didn't even take time to be like, is that, But no, that's that. Thank you for sharing that, because I did want to ask you guys before we kind of wrap things up. Making it in Hollywood. And I'll ask both of you to share 2 of your biggest struggles that you've seen since pursuing your dreams in industry-wise. What have been top 2 for you, and then Dad will come to you.
For myself, I think is just defining what kind of artist I am and really saying this is who I am and feeling good about that. Like, I feel like that is still something I need to work on. Mm-hmm. Like, I still ask the same questions, like, what should I be going for? What's my brand? How should I look? The hair thing is huge, because it's like, can we see you as this character or not?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And are you willing to let go of that and do everything that you need to do to work? Mm-hmm. Like, what's more important?
That's pretty...
your values, or this the reason why you moved here.
Right.
Secondly, I feel like there is definitely a town of like who you know, and if you're not down with whatever the program is, whatever's on the table, then you don't get the invites, you don't get the jobs, and just kind of staying true to who you are, or doing whatever you need to do to get there is always kind of a thing too. It's like, if you don't get the invitation, if you don't get the job, it's like, should I have done something else?
I'm going to ask you while we're at that point. So is there a point where you've ever felt jaded, or like certain people that that are in certain positions of, to make those calls? Yo, I'm having a pool party. I'm going to Puff's Diddy Grammy party. You have those friends that can say, I can bring you home, girl, but y'all chat maybe once or twice a week, but they don't think of you, or you're not invited to certain things.
Or you talk every day.
Oh, you talk every day. How do you handle that? Because I know for me, sometimes I do want to ask you, for me, I have had to put that into perspective, but for you, how do you handle that? Do you feel jaded? Is it like, okay, I'll see you next time? Is it, I know she ain't really my friend, or he ain't really my friend?
Yeah, I think you got to really segment who people are in your life, even if they are people who are very close to you. This could even be a significant other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, in a one way it can be hurtful, and another way it's like, well, I just got to find another way to get there. Because you can't put your destiny on somebody else. It's not anyone else's responsibility to help you out in any way. And if you're in a relationship or a friendship for the, just to see what you can get out of it, then
it's not a real friendship.
Absolutely. Like, you have to look at your own intentions. But I've definitely, I moved here and I started doing PR, and I was helping a lot of people, and giving them all I could to help their careers. And there was a certain point where my mom was like, if you gave all that you give to other people to yourself, you would be so much further in life. And I was just like, wow, like that really, it took a while for me to even respond to that. Respond with action on what I'm going to do with myself.
What your plan
and working on, towards my goals and things like that. But
it sucks to just even have to be that way.
But I'm just, like I said, there's people I talk to every day, people who know my real life, know my children, my struggles and everything, and they're in the position where to make a call.
One call will change life.
And, it's just kind of like, here's the thing. When my time comes, and whoever's with me will be with me.
I respect and love that.
And maybe I'm not that person for them. Maybe I'm not on that inner, ring for them too. And so I can't put my energy in what you're not doing for me.
Right. But you would still go to lunch and things would be cool with them. You know your shade when you want to do it.
I know exactly what I need to do.
Gotcha.
And I try to match people's energy.
Thank you for that. And I just explained to someone the other day, yo, whatever you on, I'm on. Like, this is a year we matching energy.
I think that's the best thing you can do. And when you see that someone doesn't have it for you, like, I very much, like, and I always probably will fight this. One of my faults is that I expect a lot because I give a lot. And I'm like, how come you don't love me? How come you don't give me this? I'm so good to you. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe I'm a people pleaser, but not everybody operates that way. And so when I find out that the door is closed, I have to close my door. And I will mourn the relationship, the friendship while I'm in it, and then I'll build that up. And so when you come to me, I'm like,
that's good.
I'm over it.
That's good. You're a silent mourner.
But you never knew. You never knew. You're like, oh wait, what's different? It's like, we've moved on.
We moved on. And then when it's over and they look up, it's like, oh, I thought that person's gonna be reaching back out for me.
I still speak to you.
Functional, fun, all that stuff.
Now we've heard that that was pretty girthy. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, you gave 2 bullet points, but you do. You come with the real, or as Dal would say, the tease. You know, you come with the real. That was. I think for our viewers and listeners, I know that that's going to be felt, heartfelt, and mentioned and taken to other places. You know, just from your perspective. Dal, making it in Hollywood. You came out here, correct me if I'm wrong, from Detroit, Michigan to pursue journalism, Grand Rapids to pursue journalism, correct?
Correct.
And how has that experience, what's 2 of your top points for making it in Hollywood or your experiences? What can you share?
Making it in Hollywood, you literally have to know who you are. I think with me originally coming out, as far as my look went, as far as the way I wanted to journal, I wanted to blog, I didn't have that. And so learning who I am, having my own voice, I think that was one of the biggest things for me coming out here. Especially being on the carpet, you just got to know who you are. Yeah. You got to have that voice, because if you don't, then you're just out there.
Have you found financial issues to be a thing for you? Like the budget from Midwest moving to the sunny West Coast where, you know, the budget is much different.
Of course the budget is different.
What do you do? What do you do to stay afloat? Like, what are some of your tips that you can leave?
I just stay out there, stay busy. Yeah. I stay active. I stay in people's face. I'm a hustler. I try to make money any way I can. Yeah. And I think that that's the biggest thing. I mean, my biggest thing with working carpets, it's really not a lot of money out there. And so the way that you get your money is by promoting yourself. And so working carpets is it's all about your look. You know, you have the beginning of the carpet. You'll have E, you have MTV, you have People Magazine, you have Vogue Magazine. Then trickle on down, you got Jasmine Brand, you got the Shade Room, you got BET, and they're all down here. And so if I don't already interviewed with 8 people up front, I'm not going to come down the line and interview with the last 10 people back here. You know what I mean? So if your look is on point, and I'm standing out there and I'm dressed to the heavens, and Beyonce walked past as a blogger, it's like, yeah, of course she's gonna stop. I'm standing here, I'm looking sickening. You know, she ain't got no choice but to stop. But so that's how you promote yourself. You know, and so I had to learn that from my brother, in regards to how to promote myself, how to stand out in what I do, because there's so many people on the carpet, there's so many people that want to be a singer, so many people that is here in LA that want to do exactly what you do. So it's like, what do you do that allows you to stand out from everybody else? Because Black Hollywood is a thing, and it's really, really tight, and it's a very small circle.
It's smaller than you guys think.
Yeah, it's really smaller than what a lot of people think it is. I think people see Hollywood and they see what TV presents. But once you're here, you're actually on the ground and you're running, it's a completely different thing. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. And thanks for sharing that too, Dal, for our listeners and viewers. Friday night, just a quick recap to cap this thing on up with making it in Hollywood on a not a higher note, but just another note. Great note. Checked out me and LaShane. Got to check out Lena Waithe's Homecoming last night at her homecoming event, which was pretty epic. The likenesses of Issa was there, Ava, Evan Ross, a lot of known faces, cool faces, and everybody's kind of mingling amongst each other. No one was giving that Hollywood vibe. It really felt like a true old school homecoming feel. Nice. She had a dope DJ, Brian Henry. He did his thing, spent music the whole night. They had a dance break. She introduced her marching band. You know, it was a lot of magical moments there that night. And for me, I left with some motivation. With just making it in Hollywood can be tough. It is tough, but I think it also is to the eye of the beholder, or it's in how much we want it. Yeah. But I think for me, what I can leave you guys with, the listeners with, and viewers is, like you said, knowing yourself, but also working to be as disciplined as possible in every capacity. You know, because they define insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result. And a lot of times, I've been here, this makes my 15th year here in California from Chicago, I felt that I was kind of insane. Because, you're running through the circles of people, not running through, but you have to find your vibe and your mode of who you're going to click with, who you can create with collaboratively and make dope stuff with.
Right.
And until you find that, or until those things and people naturally come in your lives, then it is kind of hard. It's definitely hard because you have the gym aspect. That's a huge thing out here in Hollywood where a lot of people are in the gym.
Right.
Not saying that makes it break your career, but like you said, Dow, if you are on the red carpet, the more presentable you are, the more TV ready you look, the less they have to do, the more chance you are to probably get that thing.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I will say LA, California is probably a big city that the gyms are making lots of money.
Right.
I have a gym down the street from the studio that is $9.99 a month. I'm like, let me hop over there because LA Fitness is $29, Equinox, all that big stuff. But anyway, fitness is one thing that I've experienced with, the guys are going to have their shirts off for this job. You got to work out a little bit more. Come back next audition. Come back next year, as a dancer when I was dancing and choreographing a lot. And I got that early on in my career. And that was one thing. I did get the hair as a guy. I was told by a big name choreographer to work with this specific artist that I would need to cut my hair. And it wasn't coming from another race. It came from an African-American choreographer. He was just like, hey. He was just like, to dance with this specific artist. She has female dancers, she has male dancers, and we don't want you to get lost up in the mix. So he delivered it in a way where it made sense. But years later, I look back at it and I'm like, you cut your hair over somebody telling you should cut your hair and anyway, we do what we do to do what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? And so, outside of that, keeping that budget right, doing them sit-ups, keeping those connections tight, making sure you are keeping your calendar on point. Calendar is a very big thing out here in Hollywood, whether you booked or busy or just whatever you're doing. I feel like having a calendar, Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, I have both on my phone. You as well, we're all good with the calendars and stuff like that. Other thing is picking up the phone. Don't be scared to actually pick up and talk and call.
Right.
A lot of people have gotten caught up in this whole text messaging thing. Pick up the phone.
Right.
Take that back to old school. Hey, can we do this quick conference? Can we hop on a creative chat? Whatever you need to do to make it and to propel the careers, I feel like that's what we should be doing.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, I had did y'all need to leave anything with the listeners? Leave anything? No? Good. I had a great episode, y'all. Episode 3 of The Privilege Show, socially charged, debatable, and dope. Check us out Mondays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursdays, the show visuals drop. Thank y'all for joining. Peace.
Bye.